Addiction is a strange thing. And I think it's really misunderstood. And I guess it is misunderstood. Like it is. It's not, I guess it's misunderstood. It is misunderstood. And I say that because a lot of people, up until recently and still do, think that addiction is a choice and not an illness, even though, like, in my lifetime, it has gone from being misunderstood as like something that just happens to a legitimate actual like illness. um and addiction is also genetic, so if your parents were addicts, there's a pretty good chance that you are going to have that addiction gene in you. And on the flip side, you could just have like an addictive personality and not suffer from addiction, which is a thing as well. And as you know, in my previous videos, I have spoken about being a drug abuser. And I always use the word abuser because I personally am not an addict. I definitely have an addictive personality, but all it takes is for me to be like, I'm not going to do this anymore. And then I've just been able to quit anything that I've been addicted to. So I don't have that whole like addiction thing. I don't want us to go like this because it's not like in quotes, but I don't know how else to like separate the two because I am not really like an eloquent or articulate speaker. So I'm doing my best. Oh my God, my perfume almost fell. So you can be addicted to a lot of things, a lot of really harmless things, seemingly, like shopping or coffee or french fries or, I don't know, doing your nails or alcohol or drugs or like massages or a feeling. You can be addicted to a lot of different things. And I'm not really the person to speak about addiction. However, I did something really bad today at work, and that's why I wanted to make this video. So today, our receptionist was out, so I and everyone else at the salon were playing receptionist while also working. And it just so happened that I was sitting at the desk when a client came in, and I said, can I get you anything to drink? Water, espresso, beer, scotch, or whiskey? And he said no, but then he decided that he would like an espresso if it wasn't too much trouble. So I went and I made it for him. And then I sat down at the desk and I checked him in. So if anyone uses like scheduling software, when your client comes in, you check them in. So in the system, it says that they have shown up. And what I should have done is have checked him in first before asking him all of these questions. Because when I right-clicked to check him in, a pop-up window shows up on the screen that said in like capital letters, recovering alcoholic, do not offer alcoholic beverages. And I was just like, oops. And I look over at him and then I remember who he is because I've seen him before, but he's just not my client, so I don't really like remember him. And he's sitting there and he looks very uncomfortable, which I don't blame him because he just got out of rehab. And the last time he was here, we cleared the bar and we put everything in the bar in the back room so he didn't see it. But because I didn't know, and apparently no one else knew, we just kept the entire bar like out. And the bad thing about that is not only is it very visible, the bar is right below the TV where like movies play. So he's like watching the TV and the bar is right underneath it. And I just can feel that he's just really uncomfortable. And I'm no stranger to like alcoholism. I'm not a drinker at all. I really don't like it. I don't understand the appeal. However, one of my exes was an alcoholic. He also did a lot of other things, which I guess is not really appropriate for the video, but he was an alcoholic, so I did spend a lot of time sitting in Alcoholics Anonymous meetings, sitting with the sponsors or his sponsors, hanging out with all of his friends who were also in Alcoholics Anonymous. So I spent a lot of time around those people, and I mean, they're great people, but it's just when you kind of like spend time around that, I just feel like you get like a different view of things. And even though I wasn't a part of that directly, I was just like there, you really see how hard it is to fight addiction. And I also didn't really want to say anything to him because no one knew about the pop-up window except for me. But I also felt like I should have, but I didn't want to like make it a big deal because obviously that's not really information that you want to go around being like, hey, see, you're an alcoholic. It says it on the computer. I can relate. I didn't want to do that, but I did feel very terrible that I did that to him. And hopefully I don't do that again. But it just really got me thinking about the whole like alcoholism and addiction, because it's not something that I have visited in a really long time, because my alcoholic ex and I broke up like 7 years ago. So it's been a long time without being in that crowd. But I think that when it happened to me, like that's all I really thought about. And I was just like, well, this is awkward now. And it just made me remember like all of the meetings and all of the people and all of their like battles and their suffering. Because it really is hard. And I don't think if it's another one of those things where it's like, if you're not going through it, you don't know. And it's like, even if you were going through it, someone else isn't going through it the same way. And for me personally, in that situation, I've never gone through it except for my own, which is a little bit unrelated. But because I was so close and so immersed in that community, I could like see it from a third person closer than some other people might ever have the opportunity to. And it just sucks, man. Like it's just one of those things where it's kind of behind closed doors and no one really knows about it. No one really thinks about it, but it's there. And the thing is just like alcohol is legal and it's terrible for you. And it shouldn't be legal because of all the things that it can do for you, do to you. That's terrible. But there's ads, it's readily available, like it's everywhere. If you don't do it, you seem uncool. So it's really difficult for people in that situation to get away from it, which sucks. And second, it's just like anybody could have that issue. And I think that drugs are a little bit like different, but with alcoholism, it's just like the person walking down the street could have the issue too and have this illness, but you don't know because it's so prevalent and people hide it so well. And sometimes people don't even think that it's an issue. But it's crazy. So I've been kind of just like rambling because I just don't have my thoughts together, because what just happened to me like was just so crazy, and I was just like, at work until he left. And I just wanted to talk about it because this is what I do on YouTube. And I'll probably make a video in the future that's more concise, but I think that it's also important for me personally to just get out the thoughts first, and then if anything, I can just delete the video later. But anyway, so before this gets crazy long, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys later. Bye.